Peyton Sellers has been in our Advanced Auto Parts Victory Lap segment before, but that was to talk about last season. He's back, but he's back today as the current points leader in the 2021 National Championship chase. The driver of the Danville Toyota Clarence's Steakhouse number 26 has a more than 150-point edge over New Hampshire's Matthew Kimball, who is in second place. And listen to this. In his 20 starts so far this year at both Dominion and South Boston, Peyton has scored 10 wins, 13 top fives, and 18 top tens. Peyton, that's pretty impressive.
You know, Jack, we have had an unbelievable start to this year. And last year we didn't have the 10 wins the whole year. That was after 32 races. This year we've started off with 10 wins. The key to us right now, it's still very early. I'm not counting points just yet because we still got a lot of racing left. There's a lot of guys that don't even have 18 starts yet, so it's still very early in the whole scheme of things. But at the end of the day, we did not build new cars this winter. We took the same two cars that we had. We refurbished them, went through them. We're continuing to run those two cars. So we know those cars. We know what they're doing. We know their capabilities. And we've kind of dedicated one to Dominion and one to South Boston. And we've been kind of going back and forth between the two. And, I think that's been the key to us right now, being able to come out of the box. We didn't have to learn new cars. We didn't have to build a notebook again. So we came out with two strong cars that we kind of knew the history of.
For the folks that aren't aware of how it works in the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series national title, it's your best finishes over your best 18 races. Is that the best way to put it?
That's correct. You can run 100 races and they're going to take your best 18. Yeah.
All right. So at this point in the season, is a perfect score of 18 wins on the horizon for you and your team?
I don't know that. I feel like we're capable, and I think that's what it's going to take. Whether we're the first ones to get there or not is to be determined. But I think you're going to see 18 wins to win the national championship.
Wow. I want to go back because you shared with me the last time you were here how you overcame a lot of the handicaps of COVID-19. Mm-hmm. And now, we're as Americans getting vaccinated, getting back to regular life as we knew it before. But I wonder, from your standpoint, you talked about racing the way you did, the way you had to last season. Was there anything you took away from last season that's now become part and parcel of what you do now that we're back to a new normal?
It's definitely made a lot of changes. Everything that happened with COVID wasn't negative. We've learned a lot as a society. We've learned things that are easier and better and that sort of thing. Racing's no different. We're having to travel more. We're having to do different things to try to get races in. But honestly, not. We're racers. We've been doing this a long time. Last year was a pain for everybody. But,
yeah.
Like I said, as a society, we've learned things. And like Zoom calls right now, interviews, we're doing things differently. And it's not necessarily bad. It's just different. So, honestly, I think we just got to keep our nose down, keep focused on trying to go out each week and prepare the car the best we can and finish races. That's what it's all about. And I tell a lot of young up and come drivers, that the key to winning championships is finishing races. If you finish races and you stay on the lead lap, then the points will follow. So that's what I've got to do as a driver is got to finish races on the lead lap and go from there.
Yeah, that seems to be your blueprint, especially in extra distance events or double down like twin 75s, which you've already won. When you look at it, I've heard drivers tell me I have to talk myself into the fact that I don't, with the drop of the green flag, just use up my stuff. We see it at a lot of the premier divisions, especially with young drivers that have to acquire that skill set. So when you're in the cockpit and with the years of experience you've got, how do you keep the bridle on that horse and wait for the stretch drive?
Well, I'll tell you, we've got another element down here that we're doing at South Boston right now. They're doing a 2-tire deal. So you race two tires, you run 2 tires this week and you impound them. Next week you get 2 tires and you have to put them on the left every week. So you've really got to be thinking about the big picture. You got to think about next week. So if you've got a little bit of room between you and the guy behind you, you got to try to save some car, save some tire and manage that because next week you've got to run at the same tire again. So, yes, you've got to finish races. You've got to manage tires. You've got to keep the fenders on. And that's what it's all about. You got to be smart when you can make that last dive and get one guy knocked out of the way to get 2 more points. Maybe you need to rethink that. Maybe you need to just say, all right, let's finish here. Let's not wear my guys out every night this week, putting new sides on the car and putting new decals on it and costing a lot of money and time and effort. Let's just stay back here and get this 2 points, because next week maybe that guy will have bad luck. And it's a game of averages.
Peyton, how fulfilling has it been for you to get back to South Boston?
It's been good. I'll be honest with you. My family's with me every week. Our local crowd is there. We've had an unbelievable amount of people at these races because people are just ready to get back to normal. Last year, everywhere we went, it was 400 or 500 fans at most and that sort of thing. This year, South Boston's having a packed house every week. And people just want to come out. People that hadn't come to a race in 15 years, just because they couldn't last year, they're coming out this year. So crowds have been good. The car count has been kind of up and down. We had 19 cars last week. We had, average of about 14 or 15 cars in South Boston. Dominion is averaging 20, 21 cars every week. And I don't know why, because they're only about 2 hours apart. So I don't know why one track's drawing more cars and one track is drawing fewer. It's just logistics, I guess. But South Boston had a big car count last week. Our next race there is the 4th of July event. They'll have 10,000 fans at that race. They'll have fireworks. It'll be a big show for that race. But it's a 200 lapper that pays, I think it's 7,000 to win, 60,000.
Wow.
And so that's a good show. That'll be a big car count. They'll have 35 cars there for that race.
So basically, you're telling me that Kathy Rice had better load up on those fried bologna sandwiches.
You got that right. You got that right. They'll sell a bunch of them that night.
Looking across your career, and again, we did touch upon this the last time you were with us. You've had opportunities, both in Xfinity, in the Truck Series, in the ARCA Menard Series, ARCA East. You've gotten to a point where you strike me as a guy that is satisfied with what you do, and it fuels a passion. And not that you failed at what you did, but you found a home and you're making the very best of it. And it enables you also to maintain your business.
Absolutely, 100%. I had the opportunity to go out and drive race cars and get paid to do it for several years. That was an opportunity that, every little kid that plays baseball, they just want to go to the major leagues and play in the major leagues. I was no different. I had the opportunity to go do that. The opportunities didn't align like they needed to. So I'm still a racer. I still love to do what it is. And, nowadays I see so many kids that pop up, they go through a lot of opportunities. They go through a lot of money. They might race an Xfinity race. They might run a race or two, and then the opportunity falls by the wayside and they go home. They quit racing. Well, I'm a racer. I grew up racing dirt cars. I grew up racing street stocks and have raced everything in between. So to say that I made a living driving race cars for so many years, and then to say now that I still support my passion and still fuel that passion with racing every week, it gives me the opportunity to run our family business here in the construction business, but yet every weekend I'm a race car driver. So I still just love going out, and the competition side of it is just what drives me every day.
Well, you understate it. You're not just a race car driver. You're a damn good race car driver. And as always, we appreciate your visiting with us. Haven't even reached the halfway point in the season. 10 down, only 10 more to go. Actually, only 8 more to go.
8 more to go. Well,
clean sweep.
We hope we talk to you several more times this year, and hopefully it's as good as it is right now. But we're just going to keep our nose down to the grindstone and keep working at it. We're actually off this week. We've run 11 weeks in a row. We got an off week, so we're going to try to work on the cars a little bit this weekend and get refueled and ready to go for next week.
Peyton, good luck to you, my friend.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Did you get a chance to see the SRX series race?
No, I watched all the highlights of it. I didn't get to watch it live. We were racing, but I watched.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah.
It seemed like it was a hit. You guys had a crowd, didn't you?
Peyton, we sold out. Okay.
Wow.
We had to cordon off the pits.
Yeah.
You've been there. You know how we have the big pit area.
Yeah.
And so the backside. So we're able to put because all those grandstands in the pits, we sold them as reserve seats. We had 12,000 people.
Unbelievable.
Legit. 18 inches a seat. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Now, look, did those guys do some autograph sessions? Did they interact with the fans?
Yeah, but that's where it was weak. Okay.
Okay.
This Marcus Lemonis from Camping World, he wanted it and they wanted a controlled environment. So you had to buy a ticket for $20. All of that money was going to the charity, Lemonis's charity.
Okay.
But when they came up there, we limited it to 200 fans.
Mm-hmm.
They only got through about 100, and then they got up and walked off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So thank God my brother Mark spun on the dime, and what he did is he refunded them their $20 and gave them 2 tickets to any race, including the tour races,
So
the rest of the year. In hopes that they come back. But overall, it was a really good show. The cars are junk. The cars, I mean, when I say junk, they're perfect for that series.
For what they're doing, they're perfect.
For what they're doing. But boy, every guy that got in them, including Doug Kobe, who, that was spectacular that he kicked their ass.
That was big, yeah.
But they've just got so much understeer in them.
Yeah.
And you can't get it out. And if you try to drive it off the right front, you're just going to, and you got to use the same tires the whole night.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't think TV really did as good a job as they could in terms of, from a pit road standpoint, the strategy. There's a few things, but it was for us.
They come out yesterday. With they've changed some of the rules. Did you see
that?
They
no, I haven't.
They revamped some stuff, and they said they learned from last week, and they're going to redo some stuff. So I think as long as they use it as a learning tool, it'll be fine.
Well, as long as Evernham is there, he's a bright guy. He gets it, and we'll call some audibles and make it better. So, hey, listen, it's always a pleasure.
I'm glad you guys got the first dip in it because, you're able to get that first burst of people coming in.
Exactly. And, I was thinking about it, 6 straight weeks. I understand the geographic change, but you're going to wear those drivers out.
Yeah.
All right.
They're ready to be done with it. So did Kobe have to give up his tour deal for that?
Yeah. Wow. He put Chase Dowling in the car when they went to Oswego.
Okay.
Because it's his car. He owns it.
Yep.
And Chase put it on the pole, then had a mechanical issue, but managed to finish, I think, 10th.
Okay.
But you know what? Like Doug said, this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And he said, even forget my winning it, being with these people and the Sandy Montags and the George Pines, the other big muckety mucks that are behind this thing.
Yeah.
He says it's opened all new arenas for me.
Yeah.
So and he did a good job. I give him credit. He understood how, just what we were talking about. Save your stuff. The heat races really don't count for much, and he got out there, and I'll tell you who was unbelievable though was Biff.
Was it? He come back and won the truck race last year.
Yeah. Well, he figured the track out.
Yeah.
Okay. It was fun. The other guys were like monkeys trying to mount a football. All right. Okay. It just wasn't. They were in the wrong line. But then you watched Biffle, and probably in the last practice, you saw, okay, now he's figured it out, and he gave Doug a run.
Yeah.
I mean, in the first practice, Doug was a full second faster than everybody else.
Wow.
Okay. So, but it's going to be fun at Knoxville this week.
It'll be interesting to see.
It could be crazy. Yeah. Hey, I'll let you get back to work. It's always a pleasure. Take care, my man.